Hi, Andrea. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Pretty good. So thank you for coming and meeting me again today. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to be
Yeah,
here.
good, good. Yeah. Um, so just to kind of recap a little bit, about our first meeting last week. We had gone over our roles and just how we're gonna, work together and, just also talking about, further down the line, talking about your main goals and steps that we both can take to make sure that you achieve those goals. And um, you talked about a little bit, um, about your current situation with Vincent and just wanting to have him back in your life. Um, so before we talk about some of those main goals of yours, um, I want to learn more about you, and just the situation as a whole, so I can get a good, clear picture. Um, and yeah, just before we move forward, is that okay with you?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so yeah, I really want to learn about you. So a part of that, and sometimes aspects of people's background or identity can make their situation or their challenges either better or worse. um, and by background or identity, I mean, for example, the communities you belong to, um, the languages you speak, where you or your family are from, your race or ethnic background, your gender or sexual orientation, or your faith or religion. Um, so just kind of those aspects of your background identity, or identity. So to you, what are some of the most important aspects of your background or identity?
Okay. So I'm Filipino, but I was born here in the United States, um, and I only speak English. So there's a bit of a disconnect with some other family members who moved here from the Philippines and haven't been here all their lives. So there's that.
Mhm.
Um, Female. Um, let's see. I know I've lived in this area all my life, and and as far as communities, I mean, I have my family. Um, I don't have a lot of friends. I feel like some of the mental health issues push both family and friends away. Um, so yeah, those are, I guess, the main things, but yeah, maybe there's more and I can think of it later.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So some important aspects to you are, you know, that you are Filipino, and but that you primarily speak English, and that can create some challenges with you know some of those family members who may not, and who um, you know since you were born and raised in here in the United States, it can create that disconnect, um,
Mhm.
and that's um, sounds like a challenging aspect for you and your part of your background and identity. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes that makes it harder because they understand things in a different way than I do, or have different ideas about things.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and yeah, yeah. It's just, even people my own age, but depending on where they came from, or yeah, who is part of their family, if they have more family that
Mhm.
that immigrated here, versus more Americanized parts of my family. It makes a
Sure.
difference.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, are there any aspects of your background or identity that make a difference to your situation that you're experiencing today?
Um, yeah, I mean, I would say that um, so Elizabeth, my older sister, and then she wasn't born here,
Mm.
um, and she's quite a bit older than me, so she had some a good amount of time over there, and then my family members, who are older too, that they just have a different way of thinking about things, and they also don't understand mental health at
Mm.
all. Whereas people here who, mostly people who I've known, around, who have mental health, like we understand each other,
Mhm.
but that's not really something that's talked about over there. So even if somebody does have mental health, they're probably made fun of or something. So over here, I feel more comfortable with other people who aren't um, Filipino.
Sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
That seems challenging because, I mean, it seems like, like you said, a disconnect from your family, and especially experiencing, or going through your current situation. Um, it's got to be hard to not be able to um, get that support from them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they never really supported, my relationships with people who weren't Filipino too. And so I never felt like they trusted me or trusted how I did things. So that is, that makes it really hard. And I don't necessarily trust them either. Like I trust that they're going to take care of Vincent right now, but
Mhm.
not necessarily that they would do things in the same way that I would do them.
Sure.
So, yeah, I would really want to have him back as soon as possible because I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. It's not easy. That's not easy at all. To experience um, that disconnect and not to be able to have that understanding uh,
Mhm.
or acceptance from your you know current relationships or past relationships. Yeah, just not having that understanding from them. Um, are there any aspects that of your background and identity that that are causing other concerns or difficulties for you?
Mm, well, I mean, just my background of um, mental health and not being understood. Since I have a bipolar disorder, and they say I have schizophrenia and other things. It's like just very different. So I think that being a big part of my life, um, and my identity is, makes it hard for me in general to be close to most people.
Sure. Yeah. Um, those are, you know, those are valid concerns. I think those are aspects that, um, yeah, I mean that there, those are, some factors that definitely come into play, and especially with, your current situation and not being able to get those supports that you would like or that you would need. Um, so how sometimes people have various ways of dealing with problems or concerns such as these. So what are some things that you have done or that you do on your own to cope with this?
Mm. Well, um, well, sometimes I go to a group, um, of people who are in recovery or people who have mental health, or dual diagnosis, and just to be around them, and just other people who understand,
Yeah.
what I'm going through, and so sometimes that's good, and sometimes it's not so good depending on where they're at or how they're feeling at the time too.
Sure.
And yeah, but I feel more comfortable, and at the same time, they're not like people that would be there for me all the time, but I have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, so so it's kind of a positive and it has its pros and cons.
Mhm.
You're getting some of those supports that you're looking for, but depending on other people's, situations or day-to-day things, um, doesn't sound like you may always be able to get those supports um, that you're looking for. I think it's good that I think that's great that you are taking, I don't know, taking your own initiative to go and seek out those supports to begin with. I think that that can take a lot of courage for someone you know, to go and do that because it can put you in a kind of a vulnerable space. So I think that's great that you know uh, were able to go out and try and seek those supports. That's definitely a strength that you have that self motivation to try and make um, some aspects a little bit better. Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
so I think let's stop here for today. And next week I I want to learn more about you and kind of delve into some more of these aspects. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Yeah. Okay. All
Cool.
right. Thanks again for meeting with me today. Okay.
Yeah, thank you too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.